Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. I just got back from the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I had a great time. I had never been to Wisconsin before, and I really like Milwaukee. I thought it was a cool walking city. It's got a nice river walk, and it's a great convention. I've heard good things about the Midwest Gaming Classic for many, many years. I've had a lot of people tell me I should go, and they wish I would go, and they'd like me to be a guest at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Well, it finally worked out this year. The organizers of the show and my schedule, it finally worked. Awesome. I was so glad I got to go, and I got some really cool stuff at this show. A couple of things I'm going to show you at the end of the video. Had kind of an unusual pickup. It's a warehouse find, and the organizers of the Tetris championship there, the tournament, they gave me this cool shirt, so that was awesome. And I'll show you a couple other things at the end of this video. So, the Midwest Gaming Classic, just outrageous. A ton of people showed up. It was an excellent show. I got in Friday afternoon, about 5 o'clock, which is in time to be there for the preview. And I kind of got a look at the dealer's room ahead of the event because I was just kind of looking around before I set up my table. And, just watched people setting up, talked to some people, saw some of my friends. Always a lot of fun. I've been doing these shows for so long that it's getting to almost be like a reunion to go to these shows. Even shows I've never been before feel like a reunion because I just get to say hey to everybody, other YouTubers, other authors. Really cool. So I set up my booth Friday evening, probably about 6 or 7, and I got out of there. I just set up, put, covered up my table because I really wanted to explore the town. I walked over to the Bronze Fonz, which is not far from the convention center, just, across the road a ways. The river walk is near the convention center. I love when they have conventions downtown in these different cities because it's just so much, easier to get to the restaurants and things. And it was a lot of fun just checking out the city. It's a clean city. It's not huge, so it's easily walkable. And even if it is massive, that doesn't matter to me. One day I walked 27 miles in New York City just because, I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge, back across the Manhattan Bridge, and all over the place to Staten Island Ferry and all that. Man, do I tend to get on tangents. Anyway, back to Milwaukee. That first night I just walked around, set up my booth, and I ended up going with Metal Jesus Rocks and John Riggs over to the Uptown Arcade. Actually, it's called the Updown Arcade. When they told me where they were going and if I wanted to go, I said it sounded like Uptown Arcade, but it's the Updown Arcade. I guess there's an upstairs and a downstairs. Whatever the case, it was a ton of fun. Played some Tapper, played some Tron, and if I go to a convention or a free play arcade or an arcade like Updown where you put in quarters, whatever the case, if there's a Tron machine there, I'm going to play it. One of my favorite arcade games of all time. And I did pretty well. I think I got to the third sequence of boards. I'm not great at Tron. I can get past the, each screen a couple of times, and then it gets pretty hard. Not great at it, but always love to play this game. It's a ton of fun. Hanging out with Jason, Metal Jesus, and had a really good time because he's a big Kiss fan, big music fan, and we really enjoyed talking about a lot of music. And the next night, we hung out as well and talked a ton of Star Trek, science fiction, rock and roll, music, movies, you name it. Great time. So anyway, back to the Updown Arcade. Really enjoyed that. It's a pretty cool arcade. It's about 1.5 miles from the convention center. We took an Uber over there because we wanted to maximize our time at the arcade. Just had an excellent time. And it's funny, at these conventions, I do play games, obviously, but I'm stuck behind my booth most of the time during vendor hours. And then after hours, I end up talking to so many people and just hanging out and having a good time that sometimes video games and pinball becomes almost an afterthought because I'm just so busy socializing, maybe having a few drinks and going out to eat and stuff. But I did indeed play a few games. Always cool. So the next morning, now here's something about me when I travel. I am not a good travel sleeper. Even if I have a comfortable bed or whatever the case, or if I'm sleeping on the floor or a cot, or it doesn't matter if I can be in the fanciest hotel in the world, whatever the case, for whatever reason, I'm not a great travel sleeper. But that's kind of okay. especially for this trip. So I got to hang out late at night with the night owls, with the people who like to go out and party or maybe go to a bar or have a late dinner or whatever. I did that, but also hang out in the morning, you know, with the people that are early to bed, early to rise, like my buddy Adam Koralik, another really cool YouTuber. So we walked to breakfast Saturday morning, and it's funny, so Adam just Googled, like, you know, some of the best breakfast around, and he found one that had rave reviews, and it was very good, but it just happens to be in another hotel. So we walked from our hotel to another hotel's breakfast. We didn't eat at our hotel's breakfast, which was fine. This place was really good. It was a fancier hotel than the one we were in, really nice, and had an excellent omelet, and had a good talk with Adam, a nice walk in the city. Again, anytime I visit a city, I love to walk it and get a really good lay of the land and just check out the sights. And Milwaukee has some nice older architecture, some really cool buildings, and it's a nice clean town, really enjoy it. So Saturday, I got back to the show, you know, from breakfast and getting ready and everything, maybe in a half an hour before the show started, and, you know, looked around a little bit again. But man, I was slammed all day long Saturday. It was a busy show, and but the aisles were really wide, and it was a big venue, so it never felt cramped or overstuffed, or like your nose is stuck in someone's armpit or something. You're not squeezed together like sardines. It was so great, so it never felt overwhelming, but I was busy all day long. I sold a ton of books, so that's always great. I made some, have some new readers from the show, some new YouTube subscribers, but I talked to some people that had been reading my books for a long time, might have picked up my new NES Omnibus Volume 2. Some people picked up a couple of back catalog books they just wanted to add to their collection. But anyway, sold a ton of books. That is always a good thing. And made some new friends, which is always cool. So Saturday night was the after party at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I've always heard that this was a really good time. You know, there's a lot of arcade games set up on free play. There's pinball, there's food, there's drinks. So Dan Lucen, the main man behind the Midwest Gaming Classic, before the party got underway, before everybody really, went their separate, this after party is huge. The arcade is really spread out, and there's a console room, and there's, a place to visit, tables and a place to gather, a place to eat. It's all over. But he gathered everybody around, and he wanted to give a talk because with COVID and the shutdowns and everything, he was at some point, for a pretty good while there, was concerned that the Midwest Gaming Classic was not going to return at all, that COVID had pretty much wiped it out completely. And the Midwest Gaming Classic is his job. That's what he does. And he was so grateful. This show was an incredible turnout, huge turnout, biggest turnout ever. That Saturday was just rocking and rolling. And he got a little choked up, because this is important to him. It's important to a lot of us, these gaming shows, because we make such good friends and have such a good time. And that was really inspiring. He gave a really emotional speech, and it was awesome. Thanks to Metal Jesus. Bought me a double whiskey. That was great. Thank you for that. A couple of different people handed me beers. That's always a good time. I had forgotten to eat dinner on this night, and in the console room there were stacks of pizzas, and they said help yourself. Very cool, awesome. Played some Rush pinball. I love the Rock Band Rush, and there's a pretty new pinball machine, Rush, that I hadn't played yet, and that was awesome. I've liked Rush ever since the mid-'70s when my brother had Fly By Night, real early album, and my brother was rocking Rush before Neil Peart. Great stuff, or Neil Peart, however you want to say it. One of the greatest drummers of all time. Anyway, great band. They had a Fairchild Channel F system. They're just in absolutely immaculate condition, just beautiful. And this reminded me when I was a kid back in 1976. When I was 10 years old. Now, of course, I've played the Channel F since then, many times over the years, but this Channel F was so clean, so shiny, so beautiful. It took me back to being a 10-year-old when my two best friends each had a Fairchild Channel F in 1976, before, the year before the Atari 2600 came out. I played some Alien Invasion, which is a really cool, solidly programmed Fairchild Channel F game. Probably the best Channel F game that there is, original releases. Pretty fairly sophisticated game for the Fairchild Channel F. You know, not the most advanced console in the world, of course, but enjoyed me some Alien Invasion. All right, so that night was just great, and on Friday and Saturday night, I had a great time catching up with Kelsey Lewin, another YouTuber that's a good friend of mine. She's just really cool, great to talk to, great catching up with her and a bunch of other people. I could go on and name about 50 or 60 other people. Thank you, but I won't. Gonna try to keep this short, but thanks to Todd Friedman, who works with Walter Day on the trading cards and everything and helping publicize that, and works with Video Game Summit. It was a huge help to me. He just, he gave me breaks throughout the convention to, so I could leave my table and walk around a little bit, and he was very helpful. I shipped a bunch of books, or my publisher shipped a bunch of boxes of books to him because he was driving to the show. So that was awesome. So thank you so much, Todd, for that. Thank you, Dan Lucen, and everybody else involved in hosting this show, and just everybody I got to hang out with. So the next Sunday morning, again, just having a great time hanging out. We went to BB's. Now, it stands for Build Your Breakfast or Build Your Burger. When it becomes lunchtime, it's Build Your Burger. And we went to breakfast again, got up early with Adam Koralik, and John Hancock was there, which was really great. Hadn't seen him in a while because of COVID, with the Portland Retro Gaming Expo and everything else being shut down for a couple of years there, or most everything else. So that was awesome. Gary with Rock Solid Productions drove me back to the airport on Sunday, so that was awesome. But we all had a great breakfast at BB's. I got floating pancakes, which were layers of pancakes with eggs and hash browns and whipped cream and blueberries and real maple syrup. Excellent stuff. Such a great time. Now, Sunday was a lighter crowd for the show, but that's perfectly fine. I expect that on a Sunday. Maybe I would always prefer a busier day, but I have no complaints. I mean, of course, Sunday's going to be lighter. That happens at every show, but it was still steady all day. And I sold more books and made a couple of cool trades. I'm going to show you something here in just a minute. But anyway, thank you to everyone that just made this an incredible show. Thanks to Adam Koralik and John Riggs for, allowing me to crash with you guys, and hopefully I wasn't too annoying, so I appreciate that. Anyway, amazing show. Let me show you what I picked up real quick. I have an amazing warehouse find I'm going to show you in a second. And plus, so CGC was there, the comic book grading company. They've been grading comic books for a couple of decades. They gave me this cool hoodie. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like the concept of video game grading and that kind of thing, but CGC has a long track record of grading and all that kind of stuff, and Matt, who works for them, is really great, and Jason Broussard, the owner of Trade and Games, he started working there recently, and so I think they'll do a good job with CGC grading games. Cool hoodie. Check this out, guys. 4 different issues of Joystick magazine. These are warehouse finds. These are uncirculated, so let's take a quick look at these. Check it out, guys. Warehouse find. I got a stack of these that are new, old stock. Joystick is a magazine from the early 1980s that I read as a teenager, and I would stand around at grocery stores and read every issue. I bought a few of them that I could afford. It's just such a colorful magazine, and it's so cool to see these brand new, out of a factory case, in perfect condition. There's a lot of tips and tricks and reviews and things in Joystick. Really high production values, good design. Really cool stuff, guys, and it's nice to get these mint condition copies. And these will be great trade bait, and I can upgrade my copies because these are absolutely perfect. So there you go, guys. I got 4 different issues of Joystick magazine and had an absolute incredible time at the Midwest Gaming Classic. In the comments, let me know if you went to the show, if you've ever been to Midwest Gaming Classic, or anything you want to comment on the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, we will talk to you in another video. Thanks for watching.